Okay, 4:02, we're starting promptly. So thank you everyone for joining today. And we're doing these webinars at Gluu to highlight some of our authentication partners. And I'm very excited to have AuthenTrend with us today. They make a device that we have tested at Gluu and are really um, really um, it's working very well, and we're excited to have it as another option for our customers to use with the Glue server. So AuthenTrend is a specialist in FIDO biometric credentials. I actually have one plugged in. Let me unplug it. I have a real device. So it's a really, this is the USB-C one. They have a USB-A one. They have another card one, which is USB-A. The reason I got interested in and reached out to AuthenTrend is because it's one of the first shipping biometric FIDO tokens. And so we're, so one of the advantages of using a biometric FIDO credential is that to achieve two-factor authentication, you need two of something you are, something you have, something you know. And so a biometric FIDO token is something you have, and your fingerprint is a something you are. So it actually meets the requirements for two-factor authentication, and the it does that in a way that is very natural, I think, for people, and the usability is great. It's as easy as to touch your fingerprint to the sensor as it is to hit the button on a FIDO token. So I think it's really just the natural culmination of this technology, and we're really we're really excited to see one finally shipping that works well. Um, what I want to do before I hand the demo off to Athena Chiang from AuthenTrend, who's going to give you more of the technical details about the device, is I want to give you a quick demo of how we integrated this with the Gluu server and with Gluu Casa, our portal for two-factor authentication. So I'm going to switch off the slides and go to my live demo now. Um, and let me find the right screen. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is navigate to an application we call Casa. Casa it's a portal for managing your two-factor credentials. And so this will show both authentication, and then I'll do a quick demo of registration enrollment also. Um, So we implemented this as a two-step authentication. So where the first step is username, password, and then in the second step, it asks you to press the button on your key. So now my token is the little blue A is flashing at me, and so I'm gonna. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Um, let's retry the key. So I'm gonna this time more quickly. Um, present my fingerprint, I touched the token. It actually turned green and told me that the token was okay. And that was it. I mean, it really couldn't be any easier. I think FIDO keys have the best usability of any two-factor. So in this application, Casa, you can see that I've actually registered two devices. I registered my key. We also tested the um, um, the card, and that was working well. Um, and so in this application, I'll give a quick demo. Let's say you lose your key. You know, these things are small. Let's say I dropped it or I lost it or something. So the idea is that in Casa, I could remove that key, and then maybe on Amazon, I ordered a new key and I want to enroll it. So I hit ready. Um, I touch the button. I'm going to allow it and give it a quick name, ATKey.Pro, and this is the USB-C version. So And that's really it. Note, before I did this, I had already enrolled my fingerprint on the device, but I don't want to. I'm going to let Athena talk more about how you enroll your fingerprint and why. Um, one of the other things we're really excited about is how you can enroll your fingerprint on the device itself without any external software. But I'll let Athena go more into detail about that. Um, so anyway, that's a quick demo. Note, you don't have to do anything special in the Gluu server to use this device. Um, the FIDO endpoints are built into Gluu. All you need to do is get your token, plug it in, hit the button, and it's pretty much ready to go. So it couldn't be any easier to integrate. So with that quick demo, let me hand it off to Athena. I'm going to stop sharing. And Athena, you should be able to present and you can give more some more technical details. So, and you need to take yourself off mute.
Okay, yes. So can
Perfect.
everyone see my screen right now?
Yes, we see it. Perfect. No more password.
Yes, great. So thanks, Mike, to lead the discussion and provide a demonstration of our integration. To everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening based on wherever you are from to join this webinar. And I'm Athena. I will represent AuthenTrend to provide a brief introduction about the AuthenTrend and the biometric technology we adopt. So today we also have our CEO and the technical lead to join the webinar with us as well. So if you have any question during or after presentation, you can just address them to us through the Q&A features, and I'll be happy to answer the questions during or after the presentation. So yes, we are AuthenTrend, and our goal is to replace password with biometrics. We make a fingerprint a unique password for users to help business improve their IT authentication systems and the information security environment with minimal efforts. AuthenTrend was founded by a group of engineers who have more than 15 years of experience in biometric technology. We currently have the largest number of FIDO-2 certification in Taiwan, and we are also the first fingerprint security key companies to receive FIDO-2 certification. In 2020, we are proud to be recognized by our fingerprint-enabled authenticators and named among top 10 multi-factor authentication companies in APAC by Enterprise Security Magazine. We are honored to partner with Gluu to cooperate on passwordless infrastructures for enterprise, SMB, and solution integration providers. Gluu's open source cloud identity platform supports for AuthenTrend FIDO2 authentication devices. ATKey is compliant with FIDO2, U2F, and the WebAuthn protocol to replace traditional passwords with the public and private credentials. With passwordless infrastructures, you can have the highest security protection and a lower information technology maintenance cost. So I believe everyone who joined the webinar today is all experts in passwordless strategy already. So I sure not need to emphasize how important to adopt a passwordless strategy again. But you may wonder, why do AuthenTrend believe fingerprint security key is the most important authentication? Because based on both FBI PIN report and the Forbes study, they all indicate that biometric is better than password over PIN code. So we know that a weak password doesn't protect against modern malware, phishing, or man-in-the-middle attacks. So by moving from password to hardware-based security keys, organizations enable a more robust authentication form and they mitigate the threat of account takeover. And the biometric since has been proven to be better because it provides greater privacy and security, easy to use, and successfully reduce information technology maintenance cost. And based on a recent Gartner report claim that 3/4 of employees plan to shift to more remote work environments after post-COVID-19. So organizations around the world have been forced to adapt to remote and hybrid work rapidly. To meet this trajectory, AuthenTrend fingerprints enable security key solutions operate equally well in on-premise and remote work environments, and ensure that only the right employee can access sensitive systems remotely. So we know that traditionally CISOs may have felt they couldn't afford to introduce the vital passwordless fingerprint security keys universally. But based on a lot of data researches, given the cost of security breaches and the IT support cost required to control and sustain password, the total cost of hardware-based authentication implementation become a more affordable figures. So now we think CISO should recognize that strong hardware-based authentication for entire organization is no longer going to put them at war with a CFO. And in fact, make financial sense right now. So AuthenTrend believe that biometrics will lead the way in a passwordless world, and your organization will be benefit from adopting a strong passwordless authentication strategy. After all, it's possible to achieve affordable security, usability, and scalability. So let's abandon the outdated password together. Therefore, here comes today's key topics. We partner with Gluu to cooperate on passwordless infrastructures for enterprise, SMB, and solution integration providers. Let's go passwordless together for smarter security. And the AuthenTrend ATKey.Pro and ATKey.Car are both compact FIDO2 keys that work seamlessly with a Gluu Server, simplifying the authentication process with just a touch. So the Gluu Server is a widely used server that provides strong authentication for users through the FIDO U2F and the FIDO2 protocol. So with this integration, we bring FIDO-certified strong authentication to the widely used Gluu Casa platform for maximized security. It will make it easier for enterprise or organization to seamlessly roll out a strong biometric authentication to reduce the cost and the risk of a data breach. So here is the overview of our product portfolio. We adopt the fingerprint authentication for the security keys, IT access control, and the blockchain code wallet. So it aligns with our company mission, no more password, by replacing your password with a fingerprint for higher security and convenience. ATKey.Pro is our flagship product, a fingerprint-enabled security key. And the ATKey card in the bottom left corner is also a security key with NFC tech built in. And I will go over more details for ATKey.Pro and ATKey card, which we integrate with the Gluu Server in the following pages. The first is ATKey.Pro we want to go through, and this is also the device which Mike used the demo for. ATKey.Pro, which comes with two different form factors, Type A and Type C. Fingerprint enable USB dangle for U2F and FIDO2, allowing the users to leverage standard devices to authenticate online service in both mobile and desktop environment. ATKey.Pro is a fingerprint-enabled authenticators designed on top of FIPS 142 Level 3 certified Broadcom Credential Vault MCU in an extremely compact size and the fastest fingerprint recognition speed. We store your registered fingerprint template and process the fingerprint matching inside the ATKey.Pro. So with the FIDO2 capabilities, ATKey.Pro can entirely replace weak username password credentials with strong hardware-backed credentials. This credential cannot be reused, replayed, or reshared across a service. So AuthenTrend ATKey.Pro adhere to the FIDO and WebAuthn protocol that bring about a cross-platform solution of a strong authentication without using password. So in addition to FIDO2 and U2 have support, we also treat the user experience as our key design philosophy. So like Mike just mentioned, he loved the way we let end user register their fingerprint without application. So this is our key features that we have our patent named Stay-Alone Enrollment that allow the user to enroll their fingerprint without downloading any applications. So often new users, they can click the side button 3 times and then register the fingerprints directly to the ATKey.Pro. So this is a significant benefit to the IT admin since they don't need to monitor the additional application just to enable security keys for employees. And currently among the market, few competitors could make a thin and light security keys with fingerprint sensors. These competing products either don't provide the fingerprint authentications or fingerprint sensor is so large. So not only it is difficult to place an angle next to the computer, but it's also hard to carry around. And based on our design philosophy, with a fingerprint sensor on the side, so we actually have a fingerprint sensor on the side, making it easy for capture the fingerprint image formation. Besides with the side design, no matter you are using a tablet or comfortable PC, the ATKey.Pro can easily read your registered fingerprint from any angle. So that's why we can match the fingerprint in less than 1 second and achieving the top industry standard FRR of less than 2%. And then the second product we want to introduce is ATKey card. It's a security key shaped into a card. It's a smart card badge integrated with USB, Bluetooth, and NFC. And since we call this as a smart card badge, of course, there is an NFC features that allow employee to use the biometric access control to get into their office. And we have our fingerprint sensors on the upper left side here. And this card key also supports FIDO2, which means that this card can be used on different devices. ATKey card also supports stay-alone enrollment, allowing you to easily enroll your fingerprint to the card without any application installation. And we also integrate the locking mechanism, which is designed to lock your card automatically if any person attempts to unlock your card. And the same as the ATKey.Pro, the ATKey card also comes with a top industry level FRR rate of less than 2%. And you can match your fingerprint authentication in less than 1 second. And with the NFC features, you can also use the ATKey card to run the 2-step verification on your iPhone or Android phone. And with built-in battery, ATKey card currently is the only FIDO2 security key to support the tap-to login experience on Service Go 2 for Business Edition. Moreover, we also integrate the Qualcomm Intelligent Location System to enable real-time tracking of Bluetooth low-level text and devices with a level accuracy. So summary, going passwordless with AuthenTrend ATKey and the Gluu Server is straightforward. Only 3 steps, which you enroll your fingerprints by our standalone enrollment, and then register it to Casa, just what Michael showed you. And then you can start matching it for authentication directly. So the nice things of the Gluu implementation is that it opens up AuthenTrend biometric authentication for a broader user group. So I would like to represent AuthenTrend to thank Mike for organizing this webinar and also for this cooperation. So yes, I'm happy to connect with anyone who joined the webinar today. No matter you have questions that you don't want to ask during the webinar, or you have some brilliant ideas that you want to work with us to grow together, please feel free to connect me on LinkedIn or write me an email. So yeah, I just want to make this presentation very short and leave more time for everyone to ask a question. So that's all my presentation today. If you have a question, just bring it out. So now I will hand it over back to the mic for the Q&A discussion.
Thanks, Athena. So I have a off a off script question, so I hope I'm not putting you on the spot. But developing hardware for fingerprint readers is pretty hard. How is it, or what was the origin of AuthenTrend? How did they develop this fingerprint hardware technology? Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Um, for the hardware technology itself, of course, we have our, as I mentioned, we actually group of a bunch of engineers who have more than 15 years experience in biometrics. So when we build up the biometric hardware, we actually think about, we not only think about how to improve the performance itself, we also think about how users are going to use our fingerprint sensors to make it a good user experience. So I would say that our engineering team actually worked very hard, not only doing the performance fine tunes, but also take the user experience studies into consideration. So that's the reason we think that's how we build the hardware technology for the ATKey.Pro and the ATKey card.
Okay, well, I don't see a lot of other questions. Oh, here's one question. Where is AuthenTrend based? Is the hardware manufactured in China?
Our manufacturing, we actually have ours manufacturing in China, but our headquarters is in Taiwan. And we do our final quality control and design everything in Taiwan.
I see. Okay, well, let me just see if there are any more questions. There was a question that was answered in the chat. Just to summarize, it was, there are a number of vendors who are coming out with fingerprint security keys. What are the advantages of the ATKey? Um, and do you want to take that one real quick, Athena? Maybe just
Yeah.
colloquially? Yeah.
Sure. So yes, so as I mentioned, like our design philosophy is about the user experience. Well, of course, the performance is very great, but beside the hardware performance, our design philosophy is making ATKey's fingerprint verification experience very good. As you can see from our demos or from our presentation, with our ATKey.Pro, that force is applied from the side, which allows the fingerprint sensor to read the fingerprints much faster. And that's why our fingerprint sensor recognition rate is high and keeps the FRR low. And we also have several customers in Japan who have tested 5 of the most well-known security keys on the market. And here is a quote from one of our customers we would like to share, because I just got that before our meeting. So I would like to share with everyone, like, he actually said the ATKey.Pro proved to be a straightforward and the best passwordless user experience with the highest level of security available in the market today. So this is the quote I got, like after he ran a lot of the tests. So we believe our user experience is very good based on the design we did. And of course, another thing is like what you said, we actually let end user to register their fingerprint to the key directly. And this is our pattern, because we believe it doesn't make sense that you need to register your fingerprint by installing another applications. So that's the reason we create, build this application, allowing the user to register their fingerprint to the key directly and without installing any application or even register their fingerprint on Windows or Chrome. So I think this is kind of a summary to see why we think we can take the advantage of, we are very good in the fingerprint security key and what makes our difference.
Okay, well, I think that about covers it. I can say that this is one of the most fun keys that I've used. And since I've had it for a couple of weeks, I've now done used it a bunch, and it really is um, it's just very intuitive, and it's really fast, and to me it seems just like it's almost like touching the button. So I really like this device. And so I encourage you all to check it out. And you have Athena's contact information and their website. So I guess we'll end it here. Thank you, Athena, for joining, and thanks to all the participants.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Okay.